comes to anime, Studio Tetsunoko has to be one of the most well-known and well-beloved studios in Japan. And with shows that range from children's fare like Superbook to more mature and more action-oriented material such as Gatchaman, it's no wonder that they've earned their reputation for being able to bring out high-quality material. So it should be no surprise that the anime they released on their 40th anniversary, Keras, holds up to that standard. The story takes place in modern-day Tokyo and revolves around a man named Otaha who, for reasons unknown to him, makes a deal with a spirit named Kurane to become a guardian over the city called a Keras. However, his first day on the job, he has to help stop a sickness that is affecting the weaker demons in the city, which coincides with the discovery of a new demon, a mechanical monster called a Mikura. While each Mikura is different, all of them share several traits. All of them are demons who have become machines. All of them can take a human form. All of them must feed on the blood of humans, which they drain dry, and they can feed off of several people, but no matter how many people are there, they always leave at least one survivor. Nue, one of these Mikura who takes the form of a gun-toting young man, has decided to fight against them, despite his nature and despite the fact that he chose to become one. This is largely due to Echo, a Keras who has become disenchanted with the living world and has created the Mikura to destroy mankind. Now that we got that out of the way, in case you haven't noticed from the pictures I've shown already, the artwork on this show is just beautiful, with each character having their own style and their own look, and I couldn't tell if there were any shortcomings at all here. While the CGI isn't exactly perfect, it is superb, and it's a heck of a lot more than what I was expecting, as most anime tend to have a very low quality of animation when it comes to their CG, and fortunately enough, this isn't the case. All of the Mikura's monstrous forms and all of the Karas's forms are all in CG, and this means a lot of their abilities and a lot of their fight scenes, all of which are epic, are also going to be computer generated. The animation is no James Cameron's Avatar, but dang, is it still good. The traditional 2D animation is no slouch either, having some of the best animation I have seen in a long time. The fact that both forms often collide with each other on and off and seem to almost fit with each other near flawlessly is another feat in and of itself. It's a testament to the creative geniuses of this anime. However, one of the greatest aspects of this film, and the one part that's definitely going to get a 10 out of 10 out of this, is the music. With a full prog symphonic orchestra, they know when to pull out all the stops. And for the calmer moments, a smooth saxophone unsettles the mood just as well. However, another strong point of Chorus, and a point that is as strong as its music, is its originality. It's no secret that when it comes to costume transforming superheroes, there are fairly dime a dozen in Japan, and in some cases in America, namely with American comics. And most of them are fairly lighthearted, and there are very few dark and edgy ones. And it's like, one good attempt was with making a vampire common writer such as this guy right here, but when it comes down to it, he's your lovable loser. The only one that I can think of on the top of my head are the Guyver series and maybe Ronin Warriors, but that's about it, and the latter's just pushing it. That all said, Keras is not that lighthearted anime. It is very dark and it's very edgy, with Kara's Prophecy, the first disc, being very PG-13, and Kara's Revelation, the second disc, being very, 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 very R-rated, due to both the level of violence and the fact that this is a show that takes itself very seriously and has a darker storyline than, say, Power Rangers will ever have. A large influence to this is the American graphic novel The Crow, which would later inspire the film of the same name. In it, you have a very dark hero who isn't perfect and is given supernatural powers to seek vengeance, and in the case of Karas, You have an imperfect hero who is a former mafia hitman and is been chosen because of his character to be the guardian of the city. However, when it comes to being original, it's the Kurane who take the cake, despite being catgirls, and despite looking like they're 13, they are very mature, very wise, and they are very much in charge of the Karases, and they let the Karas know it. And this somber and stoic version of the catgirl is a nice change from the typical hyperactive and perky young girl we're normally used to. But I'm going on a tangent right now, so let's go to the next point, the voice acting. Both language tracks, the English dub and the Japanese sub, both language tracks of Kara's are excellent. Both language tracks are near identical when it comes to dialogue, either with the English voice actors or the subtitles on the Japanese track. All of the characters come to life and feel all the more real because of the effort the voice actors give their characters. However, the one character that I have the most love for in this show, in both language tracks, happens to be this little snail demon in a trench coat that's trying to befriend Nue, despite the numerous times he tries to shove him off, saying that if he loses his control, he might eat him. Despite all that, he remains adorable, and he ends up being one of the bravest characters, because despite the fact that he is just big enough to fit in my mom's purse, he was willing to stand in between a fully transformed Nue and a Karas. And the actors in both languages convey this without making him sound annoying somehow, some way. And now something I haven't said about a DVD I've reviewed yet. It has DVD extras. Lots of them. And I like them. On Kara's Prophecy, you have interviews with the cast and the creator of Kara's, as well as the making of and several trailers for it. On Kara's Revelation, you have a photo gallery and an interview with the English voice actress who did the stunning job as Kurane. Now, you may be wondering why I'm mentioning Kara's as both Kara's Prophecy and Kara's Revelation. Well, originally Kara's was 6 30-minute OVAs, but because many of the viewers in Japan found the story confusing when it was distributed to the US, the creators of the show thought it would be better to have it as 2 feature-length films instead, which seems to have worked. While you can still see some of the editing for a TV show in there as certain scenes, and then boom, here we're still back in the action. It doesn't really take away from the story, and I think this is the better option, as Prophecy gets you into the story and Revelation finishes it off and answers all the questions. Now for the final rundown. This is probably one of the more original series I've seen in a while, and because of that, the cliches that they use lovingly. And despite a few minor plot problems that confused some people when it was just an OVA, they seemed to fix that when they brought it over to the West as 2 separate films. The music was just amazing, and while there were a couple areas in the dub and the sub that kind of made me scratch my head in confusion, both language tracks largely went above and beyond the Call of Duty. The character designs and the characters themselves are wonderfully done. The animation and the overall visual quality of the films were just amazing. The opening on the first disc gets you into the action. The closing seemed to mellow you out and still keep you pumped up for more, and the DVD extras are actually worth something on this DVD. And with an end total of a 94 out of 100, this anime is definitely shelf worthy if anything else, and it's well worth your time.